guys, Andrea Mills here. We're back from our vacation, and I thought that I would spend some time this morning talking to you guys about getting back to real life and answering some questions that all of you had while we were on our trip. So we got home, let's see, as of today is Tuesday. I gotta get my brain straight here. Today's Tuesday. We got home Sunday about 10:30 in the morning. Because of the time change, we lost an hour, so we left at almost 10:30 in the morning from California. Got home about 10:30 in the morning here, so was 24 hours that way, but we actually lost an hour of time, so we actually only took 23 hours to get here. Because if the time hadn't changed, we would have gotten, it would have been 9:30 at our house. So anyway, so the whole trip took us 23 hours to get here. And when we first got home, I had intended to just come in and, you know, settle for a little bit before we started unloading, but Asher was very eager to get back to real life. So you probably saw at the end of the video on driving home, he was already unloading stuff like as soon as we got here. So him and the boys, mostly Asher did it, but some of the other boys helped. They actually brought in everything from the van right away as soon as we got home. And I just had them put everything on the tables in the living room and the kitchen area, but we didn't deal with it immediately once they brought it in. So what we actually did was we started our day over like we just got up in the morning, and so everyone did their morning routines. Whoever felt like they wanted to take a shower took a shower, and everyone changed into their clean clothes, and we just jumped into our color rotation of what we wear. I think we had on, what we have on? Brown, I believe, is what we were wearing. So the thing we always wear after brown is dark green. So everyone just went and put dark green on, and we just jumped right back into that. And, you know, we combed our hair, brushed our teeth, and everyone ate breakfast. We had some of the kids had some of the leftover donuts and things that Papa Doug had sent home with us, but most of us had not eaten anything yet. So we just went ahead and had breakfast and kind of chilled out for a little bit and gathered ourselves. So once we were done with that, Judah, he went out and started mowing because he had the realization while we were gone that they had been spending their money all week but not earning anything because we weren't home doing chores. And so the lawn needed mowed, and he wanted to earn money, so he went out and started mowing while everyone else was, you know, showering and doing all their stuff. Then by the time we got done with that, it was about lunchtime. So some of the kids had lunch, even though we just had breakfast. I guess they're making up for lost time of getting to eat all their favorite things at home. So they had lunch. Then after lunch, I had everyone clock in, which is how I pay them for their chores. We have little clock in cards that I got from Office Depot, and they write down their starting time. So we just clocked in, and we started our regular chore list that was on the refrigerator that we always do. So they did the Sunday after lunch chores, and most of the stuff was not necessarily needing done. The dishwasher was full of clean dishes that needed to put away, and we'd of course made new dirty ones, so that had to be taken care of. But we went ahead and did all the regular stuff, the vacuuming and everything like that, and just got ourselves back into our normal routine. Since we hadn't been doing laundry while we were gone, there wasn't laundry from the house that needed to be folded and put away, but that's how I did the unpacking. So I guess I should have mentioned that. With all of the bathroom stuff, we unpacked it as we needed it in the bathroom when we were doing our morning routine. So, you know, when we need to brush our teeth, we just took the toothbrushes out, put them away, used them, and carried on. So that's how we did all the unpacking of the bathroom type things. Then with all of the clothes that we had packed and taken along, they were all clean before we left to come home. So I made sure that everything had been washed, and it was packed in the bag. So instead of folding laundry, I got out all of our little laundry baskets and laid them out like I do, and I just divided everybody's clothes from the suitcase into their baskets so that they could put them away. I also had that garbage bag full of stuff that the kids had bought, and then some clothes that Aunt Melanie had sent home with us, and so I just took that bag and I took everything out of the bag and put that into their baskets along with their clothes that needed to be put away, and then each one of the kids came and got their basket and put their stuff away. They had also already unpacked their own backpacks when we first got home, but that was really all the unpacking that needed to happen. So it took like 15 minutes or something like that to unpack all that stuff. Then we had all the travel pillows that needed put up, so when Judah was doing his job of tidying up the living room, that's where all the pillows were, so he got a garbage bag and put them all in that, and then took them up into the attic. Tom went and got the TV out of the van and put it back. We just store it in the box that we originally bought it in, and since it's got an arm mounted on the back of it, he just cut a hole in the box so the arm can stick up out of it, and but the TV itself still fits in there. So he put that back in the box that we had left sitting right there by the TV credenza in the living room, and he put that up in the attic. What else needed unpacked? Just, there was, I guess, the diapers, stuff that was in the diaper bucket had to be put away, and then miscellaneous wires and things that we had taken with us for all of the technology. All that kind of stuff had to be put away, but really it did not take very long at all to get everything unpacked and put away, which was one of the great things about not packing too much. I hate coming home. In the past, when I have been a bigger packer, first off, it's like I used to be so chaotic that when we come home, the house would be a mess because that's how we left it. And so I make sure not to do that anymore. We get the chores done and tidy the house so that when we come home, we're starting fresh. And then not having a lot of stuff packed meant that it really just takes no time at all to put everything away. So I would say by about 2 o'clock that afternoon, we were totally back onto normal life, and everyone that wanted to laid down and took a nap, which for Tom was more important because he had driven all night. He did sleep for a few hours in the car on the way home, but he slept for a good long time. I didn't get to sleep as much, which I did get to sleep a lot more in the van. But let's see, my friend came over to borrow something for her KitchenAid, and we had Thomas went over to a friend's house to visit them, and then they all came back over to the house to hang out. And you know, people were calling and things like that. It was just lots of activity, so I didn't really get to take a nap, but it's all right. So also that night, which was wonderful, is my cousin called, or she didn't call, she sent me a message, and they had been trimming trees all afternoon at her parents' house, my aunt and uncle's house. So they brought us over a huge load of branches and limbs that we can mulch for our garden, and they said they have a couple more loads they're going to bring over. So that was wonderful. I was very excited about that. Anyway, so after I did my kind of half nap thing, then I went to my meal card box, because, well, I need to go do some grocery shopping. We didn't even have any milk or anything, of course, which Miss Sophia really wanted some cereal, and she made her own bowl of cereal, and she put water in it. It was really gross looking. She didn't actually eat it, but it was really cute. Anyway, so I went to the meal planning box, and I knew that I was going to need to make 2 dinners besides our pizza night and our taco night before my next grocery shopping, my regular weekly trip to our little grocery store. So I looked to see what the next 2 meals were, and I had my list of things I needed to get for that, and then just getting, you know, bread and milk and stuff like that that I needed, and did my shopping for that. I also picked up some things that we were going to need for Monday, which was yesterday. On Monday afternoons, I have a group of moms that come over. Most of us are homeschoolers, and we've been doing different classes together, and we just were starting a new class yesterday on cooking. So I knew that we needed a few food items because we were going to be tasting some things yesterday. So I picked those things up at the grocery store, and I was very happy because we needed radicchio, and we have a really small grocery store. So our produce section is about the size, like if you go to a regular, like a bigger grocery store, and they have one of those really big tables with apples on it, you know, that's like the size of our entire produce section at our grocery store here, which they always have a very good selection of all the most basic things. But when the thing said that I needed radicchio, I was like, that's not going to happen. So I was looking for some alternatives that I could buy that would still be bitter tasting. But then when I went to the store, they had some of those bagged salad kits, and one kind had radicchio in it. So I bought several of those and picked out the radicchio so that we could use it for our class, and then I kept the other part just for the salads that we needed for our meals this week. So that worked out really good. Yeah, so I did the shopping, and then we just spent the evening just kind of hanging out and relaxing. And then yesterday was Monday, and one of the things that makes my life so much easier is that I just try to do everything routinely, and so I don't have to like make a decision about whether or not I'm going to do something. It's just part of the routine and it gets done. And so, you know, I've already talked about the class that we were doing, but that's what we do on Mondays. And so it wasn't an issue of will we or won't we, since we just got back home from vacation. It's just Monday and we're home. And so we had everyone come over and we enjoyed our time together, and just being with everybody and connecting was really a fun afternoon. My sister came over and spent the rest of the afternoon with us after everyone else left. She just stayed and we visited, and I got to show her some of the videos that we took on our trip and had a very nice time visiting with her. And now Tuesday is here, and I've sat down this morning and oh yeah, yesterday I finished my last video for you guys, so I got that uploaded too. But then this morning I sat down and made my list where Justice's birthday is coming up on the 21st, and then our first day of school is going to be on the 22nd. So I have to get all the stuff ready for both of those events coming up. And I have pretty much ordered everything and sort of made plans before we left so that I would hopefully be ahead of the game when I got home. But I made more specific lists this morning and kind of prioritized what needs to happen on what day. And it's time to really get back into real busy life, getting stuff planned. So that's kind of how it's been since I got home. I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the questions that you guys had. I just looked over the videos that I made during our vacation, and I didn't write down the specific wording that you guys said, but I just kind of gave a general comment here of what you guys kept asking about or whatever, so that I could answer some of those in case you didn't watch all the videos or haven't went back and looked at the comments or whatever and you were wondering about something. So they're in no particular order either, so we're going to be jumping all over the place. The first question was, what about lost income? Since we weren't working this week, and we work for ourselves, so it's not like we have, you know, a paid vacation or whatever. We have budgeted ahead of time for the vacation and, you know, been saving so that that part was taken care of, but we did miss an entire week of income that we would have normally had. In the past, Tom has actually done some work while we were gone over the computer, and just charged people for that, but we didn't do that this week. He just put everybody off until, you know, till we got home. So it'll somewhat be made up in the fact that he's going to be super busy this first week coming back, because he's going to be catching up with all the people who had to wait, and he was also super busy the week before because knowing that we were going to be gone, he was putting in extra people beforehand. So some of it is going to be alleviated just because he did extra work before and after that would have been done in that week we were gone. The other thing is that we're already used to a very fluctuating income because we work from home and things are never the same. So we've kind of already put systems in place to keep us from having problems if we have a lower month. We have a fairly substantial savings account that we have built up over time, and we can always draw on that to help us when we have a lower income month. And also, I mentioned this earlier, but we ended up not having to pay as much money for our vacation as we thought we were going to. So a lot of the money that we had saved for that could help make up for the bills or paying bills and things like that if we needed that money for that purpose. Oh, and also I should say that I was really glad for the kids having that experience too, of realizing that they weren't making money this week, but they were spending a lot of it. So that was just, to me, a good life lesson for them to be thinking about that and figuring out how they were going to budget, and how they've already been talking like this next week, the things that they're going to need to spend their money on and how they're going to make up for that lost income. So I'm really glad for them to have that life lesson also. Next one is, where do we buy the water bottles that we took for the kids? I actually ordered them from Amazon, but when they came, they had a label on them. They were from Oriental Trading Company. So I'm sure you could buy them from either place. I don't know if it would be cheaper to buy them directly from Oriental Trading, which I order from them a lot, but I ordered from Amazon because I was already doing an order, and I would have had to probably pay shipping if I had went on to Oriental Trading this time. But anyways, that's where they came from. They worked really well. They held up really well, and I think we'll continue using them in the future. They had little straps that came off like right away. Those were kind of pointless. But aside from that, it's not like they're like super nice water bottles, but they were very sturdy and worked really well. So I would definitely recommend them if you're looking for something to color coordinate everybody. How much clothes did we pack for everyone? We obviously had on the clothes that we were wearing, and then I packed 2 additional outfits for each person, and then they all had, you know, an extra set of 2 pairs of socks and underwear and all that kind of things. So that way we might have been able to get away with only 2 things, but I didn't want to stress myself of having to get laundry done if something came up and it was difficult to do. But I did actually do a load of laundry every day while we were gone, and it was just a small load. It was just that day's clothes, and then like when we went to the beach we had to do extra because we had all the swimming stuff and towels and things like that. But so we would wear an outfit, then the next day we would wear a different outfit, and this one would get washed, and we just kind of rotate. I did actually not do the same, like the actual rotation it would have been, because I wanted them to wear the bright green when we were out places that were going to be very much more, have a lot more people, so it's easier to spot them. So we wore the bright green clothes probably the most while we were gone. But anyways, that's how many we took. And several people were wondering if the girls and I only wear dresses, and on this trip we definitely did only wear dresses because that's all I packed. The girls wear dresses a lot of the time, maybe even most of the time, but we do have jeans that they wear sometimes if they want, and it just depends on, like, if I have made a long dress, then obviously jeans are not going to go with that. But if the girls are wearing something that's like a skirt and a t-shirt, then sometimes I'll wear a pair of jeans instead of their t-shirt. And of course, if we were going to be going out doing something that would make pants be more efficient to wear, then I don't have a problem with the girls wearing pants. We mainly do it because I feel like I just like to be more feminine, and so there's not like, it's not right or wrong to wear pants, I don't think. We just prefer to wear dresses for that reason, and I also think they're more comfortable. So that's generally what we wear. I only wear skirts because I don't enjoy how I look in jeans, and I like can't fit in any of the ones I used to have, and I've just never went and bought more, so I just wear skirts all the time because that's where I'm at. But I'm not like opposed to pants or anything like that. Where did I get my pink file bag that I took with us? I bought that at Office Depot. I'm not sure how many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago probably. It's like an accordion file. You can pull it open, and then it's got a bigger slot in the back, and I like using it when I'm traveling places and we have paper type things that I want to keep organized and tidy. So yes, it's from Office Depot, but I'm sure you could probably get one in all sorts of other office places. How did we mount the TV in our van? I didn't actually know exactly how this worked because Tom did it, but I had him explain it to me. So he just bought one of those wall arm things that you can use like for a TV screen or a computer monitor, and it's one of those things you can pull the screen and move it around and all that. And so he got one of those, and he put the part that attaches to the wall, he attached it to the frame of the van. So he said he took the plastic off. It's like right behind the driver's side door. He took the plastic off, and then I don't remember if he actually made holes or if there were already some holes in there that he was able to just screw the mount onto the frame of the van, and then he put the plastic back so that it kind of, I don't know, he must have cut it, I'm not sure. Anyways, he covered it back up. So when on a normal day, it just has this little black thing that's attached that you don't really know what it is, but it's just like this little black plastic thing that's attached to it. But then when we want to use the TV, the actual arm is attached to the back of this 19-inch flat screen TV, and then he can just set the arm down into the little thing that's attached to the van, and then it can be adjusted and moved around as needed. And it does obscure a little bit of the rear view mirror, but really it's not in the way, and it's perfectly fine to drive with. Once we got there, we took it out. We didn't have it in the van the whole time we were driving around in California. We only use it on the actual long trip there and the long trip back, and now it's back in the attic, and next time we go on a long vacation someday, we'll get it out again, but we don't generally travel with TVs in the van. Where did my dad stay while we were there? He stayed at the same house we did with Papa Doug and Grandma Donna. I showed where the rooms that we were staying in. Also upstairs was the master bedroom and bathroom, which was humongous. I feel like our whole house could have fit into their master bedroom and bathroom. It was beautiful. And then they also had downstairs in that kind of living room kitchen area, there was another bedroom and bathroom down there, and that's where my dad was staying while we were there. So they had plenty of room for all of us, which was really nice. How do we prepare the van for a long trip? We didn't do anything in particular to it, other than we did take it in and have the oil changed and tires aired up and all that kind of stuff. But we make repairs to it fairly regularly when something goes wrong, so we weren't really concerned about anything being wrong with it at this point. So just doing that kind of maintenance stuff was all that we did to get ready. Oh, this was an interesting question of how are we all related? Yes, it's a long story. I'll just say, so Tom's real dad died when Tom was just little. He was 10 when his dad died. And then his mom, Kitty, who you've seen probably lots of times in our other videos, married Doug. And I can answer another question right here, which is why did Tom move to Wyoming? So when Doug and Kitty were married, they really felt like God wanted them to come to Wyoming. So they moved out here, and I might make another video talking more in detail about that. But anyways, they came out here, and Tom didn't want to stay in California, so he just decided to come with them. So he was, I think, 21 when he moved out here. And then we met just a few months after he moved here, and then like 7 months later we got married. So anyway, so they moved out here, but then they ended up getting a divorce, and Kitty married someone else, and who has actually since passed away. And then Doug went back to California, and I believe that was like 15 years ago when that happened. Then 7 years ago he married Donna. So Doug is actually Tom's stepdad, and then Donna is his wife, but Tom considers him his dad, and we're very close with them and love them very much, as though they were biologically related to us. And then for my own side, my mom actually had me before she was married, and so Papa Gary is not my biological dad, but he is the dad I have always had growing up. He's the only dad I've known. So so none of the grandparents that were on our videos are actually biologically related to our family, but they are definitely a blessing, and we are so thankful that God has given them to us, however that happened. Does it bother our oldest son to wear matching clothes with the rest of us? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. We don't even think about it. I mean, it's just such a normal part of our life that we don't even think about it. To other people who see us, it's like weird, or something to comment on, but it's just what we do, and so we don't even think about it. I did address that topic in a different video if you want to check that out, but the short answer is, for Thomas, we told him when he turned 13 he didn't have to wear matching clothes with us anymore, and it was like he doesn't care, so he just continues to do it because it doesn't bother him. It doesn't bother us. Let's see, I already answered that one. Oh, why do you keep playing this annoying music on your videos? This actually to me was the most discouraging question. A couple people asked this. If you've watched any of our other kind of day in the life videos, you may have noticed that this is the same music I use on all of them. Because for me, as I said earlier, if it's not routine, it's not happening. And it takes a lot of time to listen to songs and find music that sounds appropriate for the action and all that. And it's not something I'm real hip on. So when I was making these videos this week, this kind of video takes a lot longer for me to edit than regular videos where I'm just talking like I am right now. It took about 3 to 4 hours for each one of those videos. So over the course of a week, I put in about 30 plus hours editing videos on top of all the other stuff that we were doing over the course of the week. And as I'm editing videos, I have decisions that I have to make. One is, you know, when I'm speeding up a video, I can't leave the audio on because it just sounds like chirpy sounds. So I have to mute that, and it would just be weird just to have dead silence. So I want to have music there. A lot of times when we were around and we're talking, or maybe the people who are with us are talking, we're having private conversations that we don't necessarily want everyone to hear. So I want to mute that, and it also just puts a damper on things. Like it would be weird if every time I pulled out the camera I had to tell everybody, okay, stop talking now because I'm going to be taking a video. That would really like hinder the free flow conversation. So I just try to reassure people that I will not leave anything on that might embarrass them, or they just would feel uncomfortable having everyone in the world hearing them talking about. So that's one of the reasons that I mute some of the clips. Oh, and then when we went to the beach and when we went to Knott's Berry Farm, the background noise was so loud that you couldn't hear us talking really on the video. So at the beach, the waves were just so overpowering that our voices were completely drowned out, and it almost sounded like really loud TV static on the video. It didn't sound pleasing at all. It was a really awful sound. And then at Knott's Berry Farm, it was just, there was most of the time so much chaotic noise happening in the background with different songs playing, and like each ride had its different sounds it was making and horns beeping, and it was really chaotic sounding and not, to me, a pleasant thing to listen to. So all of those reasons are reasons that I mute certain things and just put the music over the top, because you can't hear us talking anyway, and I just felt like that was a better choice than leaving the original audio on. If there was something that was cute or pertinent, or maybe I got a full conversation that sounded, you know, that was fine, I tried to leave that kind of stuff in, but that's the choice that I made. I did not want to spend, and I do not in the future want to spend time searching for new music every time that I'm going to do a video, because I'm living real life, and like I said, it took a long time to edit these videos. After everyone else went to bed, I was up working on editing, which I was happy to do. I'm really excited to share all this with you guys, so I was so happy to do that, but it was really discouraging to have people complain about the music. Like, of all the things, that was like, well, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I don't mean to be annoying to people, but that's what it's going to be, and it's what it was in the past. It's going to be that way in the future, just on the day in the life videos. So I'm sorry if I annoyed anyone out there with my music, but now hopefully you know why I did that. Why didn't the girls wear swimsuits when we went to the beach? And myself too. I took swimsuits for all of us, and actually Eden was wearing her swimsuit, but it's one that we made ourselves just because I wanted something a little more modest. So that was her swimsuit. She also wore it when we were at Aunt Melanie's house playing on the water thing there. The little kids don't like the water. They didn't want to get into the water, and I'm all about not doing more than I need to do, so if they weren't going to get in the water anyways, I didn't see the point in changing them into a different outfit and then changing them back. So I just left them in their regular clothes, and they just played. The sand, just once the sand is dry, it falls right off. There's like nothing. So it's only when the sand is wet or damp that it like sticks to everything. So they played in it, and when we were done just walking to the car, things are drying out, and we shook everybody off, and they were just fine. But they have swimsuits. They were actually there at the beach. I had my swimsuit. I was there too, but we just decided not to change there at the last minute because it just seemed to make the most sense at the time. I'm not a real big fan of wearing a swimsuit because, as I've said, I look like I'm pregnant all the time, even when I'm not. So when I realized that I wasn't going to be getting into the water, I mean, I did walk in the water and things, but when I realized I wasn't like gonna go in and swim or whatever, which I'm not a big swimmer anyways, I just decided just to leave my regular clothes on also. Did Dad get to spread Mom's ashes? So if you didn't see the end, yes, Dad did get to spread Mom's ashes. They came in the mail, or like FedEx, about 15 minutes after we left for the beach. The first time we went, which I was kind of aggravated because I wanted to wait a little bit longer, but everybody was so antsy to get going, so we ended up leaving, and then they came, which we had no idea when they would come, so it could have been any time. But anyways, we didn't take them the first time we went to the beach, but we did go back on Friday morning, and Dad got to spread her ashes. And that was just, we just had the small urn that I had myself, so it was just a small amount. He still has the big urn at home that had the bulk of her ashes in it, so I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. But anyways, there's still some at home. And the last one is how much did it cost to go to Knott's Berry Farm? The tickets to Knott's Berry Farm were $72 a piece, but if you bought them more than 3 days ahead of time online, then you got them for $44 a piece. And some of the kids only had to pay $42. But anyway, so it was $400. We bought tickets for our family and Dad and Doug. And then there was like a little fee for ordering, kind of a thing. So with all of the tickets for 12 people, 11 really, because Claudia didn't have to have a ticket, then it was $410. And then we ended up spending about $90 on food at Knott's Berry Farm. So it was not an inexpensive trip, but it was a fun day. And like I said, we'd already been saving and kind of planning for this all along, so we knew that it was going to be expensive. And so we're going to get back into real life now, and I will be having some videos coming up on homeschooling since we're getting ready for school coming up, and we're going to be having Justice's birthday soon, as I said, so we will do another kind of day in the life video on that day. I feel kind of sad to say goodbye to everybody on this vacation. It was just so much fun having you all along with us and enjoying that with us, but we'll still see you guys again soon.